We have not, hello, stranger, by the way, we have not done a program in the almost unheard of length of 3 full days now. And we did not speak during that time. And then we started talking here a few minutes ago, and we started talking like we were doing a show, but we were only doing it for us. I don't know why. So I said, save the conversation, and we'll just catch up on the air. Because
when you called earlier, you know what my first thought was? He must have found out I was talking to Heyman the last 3 days.
Hey, come on now. I didn't talk to anybody the last 3 days except select people that I will speak about in a second. But otherwise, it's been a refreshing, I don't know how you felt about it, but it's been a refreshing stretch that we didn't record something or speak about the grappling for the past 3 days. I would like to say that I just laid around eating bonbons. I've been busy with other things. Stacy's in California for her nephew's wedding. Congratulations to Jade and Jennifer, by the way. I heard it was a wonderful ceremony. But she's out there, so I've been taking care of Harley Quinn, my little puppy. She's right over here. And I've been watching the wrestling that I knew that you would browbeat me and tongue lash me and strap me to the tree of woe if I wasn't prepared to talk about the wrestling and keep up with what's going on in this wacky, weird world that they got going on. And otherwise, I've been going back and forth to the hospital to see my cousin Larry. And that's the only, I've stayed off the telephone and for the most part stayed away from the real world news. And so the only interaction I've had with people is in the process of doing that. And that's people I have not seen in some cases for 30 years. So there's a lot to catch up on.
What's hospital life in Louisville like? Do you have to wear a mask when you go in?
Well, no, that's what you were telling me something. I said, wait a minute, save this because this sounds like a discussion. And you spent time earlier this year, you were visiting your dad in the hospital.
Well, last year.
Well, last year, my God, how time flies when I'm chained to this fucking headset speaking to you.
It was like this time last year.
Well, then in the past year, potentially not the calendar year, but in the past 12 months of the Gregorian calendar, I've recently found out we're still observing. You've been visiting people in the hospital in both Florida and New Jersey, right?
Correct.
And what is the procedure there in those locations for you to go visit a relative in the hospital that you were starting to tell me? And I said, whoa, back up.
Yeah, you stopped me. I didn't even get an answer to the other question, which I just asked you about wearing a mask to go in. But
I'm gonna here in a second, I'll talk about my process.
When you would go to the hospital, again, 2 different states I went to hospitals in, you go to the front desk. You either get in line at the front desk or you just walk right up to the front desk. There's usually a thing of fresh masks there. You put one of them on. You give them your ID. They scan you. They know who's visiting the patient. They tell you where to go. They give you a pass to put on you. You don't have to put it on. I never put it on my clothes. I don't know why anyone would do that. But then you go find the floor. You take the elevator up to in the big hospital, if it's a big hospital.
In the medical facility.
With all the big doctors and all the big nurses, and you find...
there's old Dr. Andre the Giant, and there's Dr. Giant Haystacks.
And you find your room, and you are supposed to keep your mask on the entire time, and it's a whole process. In Florida and New Jersey, I had to do that.
Yeah. Well, here in Louisville, Kentucky, here's what heck, because, like I want to go to a hospital, right? I don't want to go to goddamn Kroger when it's crowded. The last thing I want to do is go, I believe I've mentioned this before, to a hospital, which is the home of sick people and the people in the world who are not sick, but who are around sick people the most, right? So that's first and foremost. But secondly, my cousin Larry's wife is a nurse, and she's been in and out of this room and in and out of these hospitals. So because it's a giant place, it's a complex. And she clued me in on which garage to park in, but it's a public garage, right? But still, it's the one right next to his building. And I go in there and I park. And I walk in, there's a door right there that from the parking garage where you come in the side and bypass the lobby, which is over to the left, which there's usually when I'm visiting, I haven't seen hardly anybody in. and you get on the elevator and you go up to his floor and you get off and you turn left and go down the hall. And I haven't seen any patients in the hallway because they're all fucking bedridden. And I don't see employees all that often. But if I do, I keep to the opposite side of the hallway and hold my breath as I quickly walk past and right into his door. And I'm sitting in his room. And I do not emerge from that room, except outside his room is an area with a window where nobody's ever at because it's in the corner. And occasionally, if they're too confining, I can go there and gaze out the window and imagine I'm breathing the fresh air, but there's no humans around me. And then I repeat the procedure the way I came in to go out and have no interaction with anybody. And nobody knows that I'm there or who the fuck I am. And nobody's asked.
Do they think you're a doctor? Again, there has to be some kind of protocol. You can't just walk into a hospital through the stairwell.
Well, I am wearing a complete scuba outfit with fucking a mask on and fucking oxygen tanks on my back. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe it's the webbed feet. They don't want to. No, but no, and none of the employees that come in this room are wearing a mask, and I haven't seen any of them out in the hallway. But there's not a lot of people in this particular section anyway. There's not a high traffic area. So I'm in the corner in his room until I leave, and then boom, and then I'm sneaking out and holding my breath, and off I go.
That's like one of the big things in the hospital. You see the nurse and you only see her eyes, and you have to kind of guess, is she attractive or is she not attractive? I only see the eyes. The eyes are very attractive.
I have never guessed that in my life. If I'm seeing anybody in a medical fucking setting with a goddamn mask on, I'm only worried about what I'm potentially fucking about to undergo, and or whether or not that they've got something communicable that they may pass on to me. I don't care if it's goddamn Gina Lola Brigida. How's that, you fucking 60s swingers? In a fucking mask and a goddamn medical outfit. Fuck that.
How many people are you allowed in a room at one time?
I haven't seen a fucking sign that says capacity. It's a large room, got a hell of a bathroom. The bathroom would make a heck of a luxury hotel room.
He has his own room?
Well, of course. What, we gonna put him in with goddamn Joe Schmo from down the road?
Well, I forgot there aren't that many people in the Louisville areas. In some of the highly populated areas,
no, there's only a fucking million people around here. Well, there's more than one hospital.
You know how to get, you know the trick to getting your own room? Any hospital you ever in?
Say I want my own goddamn room, or I'm gonna fuck up whoever you try to stick in here with me?
That doesn't work. And sometimes you're stuck in with someone.
What if you have to fuck that person up?
How are you gonna do that? You're tied to the gurney.
Well, we don't know what shape everybody's in.
Well, what I was gonna say is all you have to do is tell them you have MRSA or have had MRSA. They'll give you your own room right away.
Woo, MRSA, baby.
MRSA!
MRSA, baby.
That should be an ad campaign. Should be valiant for MRSA.
What if I was just laying there in the bed doing that instead of telling him anything? Just woo, MRSA over and over.
I think you get.
I'd get my own room?
Maybe your own doctor. Yeah.
So anyway,
MRSA.
That's the hospital procedure that I've been under. I don't need to do like I'm crossing a goddamn border into a fucking foreign country or an international country or whatever the terminology is these days to add to the fact that I'm going to the hospital to see a sick relative. I don't need any more fucking stress. I'm already shaking like a dog shitting peach seeds going into this goddamn place to begin with, swimming in a cesspool of bacteria.
Have you gone to the cafeteria?
Are you out of your... I'm not...
Try one of the burgers. Try one of the burgers and review it on the show.
No.
Fuck me. It's a burger.
No, fuck you. I don't care. I've never in my life had the urge to go to a hospital and have a meal, whether I was in it or just in and out visiting in it. I want to eliminate, eradicate, reduce whatever my time in this fucking procedure as quickly as possible. Last thing I'm going to do is sit down and have a fucking meal. How's the food over at fucking Baptist East Hospital or whatever?
I can say here at Morristown, the food was all right, depending on the day.
If it comes to it, I'll get a goddamn stooge to go out and run and get me a bag of Wendy's before I'll eat in a hospital. Who knows who knows who's preparing the food? They walk through the same hallways. They breathe the same air.
That's a good business to start if you can find the people. Everyone needs a stooge. But where do you find the stooge?
Stooge Incorporated.
You just said, I'll just get a stooge. It's not that easy for everyone. But there was a stooge website, a database of available stooges.
Stooge Incorporated. Some enterprising
Stooge Incorporated.
Stooge Incorporated. Some enterprising stooge could go ahead and set that up and have all the other stooges working for him, and he could book them. I've just described the beginning of the wrestling business.
Hey, what's parking like at the hospital?
I hate parking garages because I got Black Beauty. I got the Ford Expedition. So sometimes it's a challenge just to be able to find a place where you can get in and get out easy. But these are slanted spaces rather than the straight in and straight out. So it's easier for me. So I've found the parking to be not nearly the burden that it is in some locations. Generally, the first level that public parking is allowed, I can find a spot where I can just slide right in.
It's free parking?
Well, nobody's asked me for any money yet. They've got a valet deal out front. I think they charge, a couple dollars to valet it or whatever. Plus, you have to tip the stooge. It's probably an independent stooge, not affiliated with Stooge Incorporated.
Unaffiliated stooge, that is correct.
Yeah.
No, the places I've been, you have to pay to park in the official parking lot.
Well, fuck that. You're already goddamn going there to give them your money to have whatever needs to be done to you done.
Well, not if you're visiting someone.
Well, in that case, you're supporting their business. You're visiting someone to make them comfortable so they'll stay longer, spend more money.
Supporting their business. You won't even try their hamburger.
Well, I didn't say I needed to goddamn eat there. I'm going in. I'm supporting the person that's currently on their docket there, registered in their location.
Do they have a Starbucks? Do they have a Starbucks?
I have no idea. I'm not roaming around this place looking for goddamn food and beverages.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. What kind of...
When you're in the hospital, when you're there a lot, you get the answers to all these questions and you roam the hallways enough that you know where you can find the ice cream and the soda and everything else.
No, I'm going to be fucking hiding. And if I have to eat or drink anything, I've brought my own drinks in. And if I was there long enough to where I felt I needed to eat, I'd bring a goddamn cooler with sandwiches or whatever.
I can't believe you just walking through the stairwell. That blows my mind.
Nobody has accosted me. I see other people roaming around freely. It's a medical establishment, not a goddamn government courthouse. What kind of fucking people you got going on up there?
See, I think it's because you may pull off the doctor look with the glasses and everything.
Wearing U of L sweatpants and a goddamn Beatles t-shirt?
Oh, okay. I was picturing you in, the post office ninja outfit.
No, that might honestly have got people to start questioning me if I was all wrapped up in that whole fucking and the black gloves too, give an air of sinisterness.
No one's going to question the guy showing up in sweatpants with his own drinks. No one's going to question that guy.
I see people carrying boxes and bags. They're bringing supplies to their loved ones.
Supplies?
Yeah.
Like a toothbrush, maybe. Soap?
Well, supplies, whatever, for the people who are on the liquid diet, they got liquids. For the people who are allowed to eat, I guess they got solids. You got books, you got coloring books out of crayons. What do you bring people in the hospital? I don't know, because I don't usually go. Right now, Larry's not in a position where he needs to be brought anything to keep him occupied. He's pretty much occupied with sleeping.
When I was a kid, my grandfather was once in the hospital, and I remember this. He requested a Big Mac, and my dad had to sneak one in for him because the hospital was real strict about what he was eating, and my grandfather was like, just get me a Big Mac.
Well, I can see that because, the food does look somewhat unappetizing, but what are they going to pat you down for a Big Mac? So you smell like fucking special sauce. Maybe you had a big night.
A big night that you would that you would spell like special sauce? That you would smell like special sauce?
Haven't you ever spelled Haven't you ever spelled like special sauce after having a big night, Brian?
Only after a big night.
Just a real big night. Well, anyway, but they can't pat you down, so you could bring in, technically, you could bring in a Big Mac in a plastic bag or line your pockets with Ziploc so you can bring in the soup. Soup.